As a surgeon who has spent decades caring for older adults, I'm speaking to you today not with clinical distance, but with heartfelt urgency. Seniors, I'm pleading with you. Please stop eating these 5 vegetables. They're quietly damaging your eyesight. You might think your vision is simply getting worse with age. Maybe sunlight feels harsh, faces blur more easily, or reading has become more exhausting, even though you barely use screens or read that much. But what if I told you that aging isn't the real cause? The real threat could be sitting right on your plate. I've seen it too many times. Healthy, mentally sharp patients suddenly begin to lose their vision. Slowly, silently. One woman told me she couldn't even recognize her grandson's face in the morning light. Her vision had faded, not because of any diagnosed condition, but because of everyday vegetables she ate, prepared in ways she never questioned. It's not too late. Today, I'll walk you through the 5 vegetables you should stop eating, not someday, but now. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Hit that button and tap the bell so you never miss a health tip designed just for you. And if you're finding this video helpful, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and tell me how I can improve. 1. Spinach leftovers, a hidden danger in your fridge. There's something comforting about spinach. It's green, soft when cooked, long seen as a healthy staple, especially for older adults trying to eat clean and boost their iron. You'll find it in omelets, soups, casseroles, even pasta. But here's what most people don't realize. That leftover spinach you warmed up for lunch might be quietly harming your eyes, bit by bit, bite by bite. When spinach is cooked, cooled, and stored overnight, it begins to change. Naturally, high in nitrates, spinach, when reheated, can convert those nitrates into nitrites. Nitrites are compounds that may increase oxidative stress in your body. In simple terms, they can damage the tiny, fragile blood vessels in your retina. Over time, this damage can lead to macular degeneration, blurred vision, trouble adjusting to bright light, and even slow, silent vision loss. This isn't theory, it's real. I've seen patients in their late 70s, never used smartphones, never read in the dark, no diabetes, yet their vision declined without explanation. And when we looked deeper into their habits, one pattern kept showing up. They regularly ate reheated spinach several times a week, all to save time, save money, or avoid wasting food. And I get it. None of us want to toss out leftovers, especially not something as harmless looking as a bowl of sautéed spinach. But ask yourself, is saving that scoop worth risking your ability to see the people you love? Because the real risk of aging isn't just what we lose, it's what we unknowingly give up by sticking to habits that no longer serve us. If that's the case with spinach, imagine what raw kale in your morning smoothie might be doing. The answer might surprise you. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, comment the number 1 below to let me know you're still with me. Now, let's move on to point number 2. 2. Raw kale in smoothies, not always. So green. Kale has become the ultimate symbol of clean eating. Every senior wellness magazine, every grocery flyer, praises kale as a superfood, packed with fiber, calcium, antioxidants, and essential vitamins. No wonder so many older adults add raw kale to their daily smoothie, hoping to stay sharp and energized. But here's what they don't realize. That green drink could actually be dulling their vision. Raw kale, especially when eaten too often, can interfere with your body's ability to protect your eyes. It's high in oxalates, natural compounds that bind to calcium and zinc, two minerals your eyes depend on, especially in the retina and macula. When oxalates bind with these nutrients, they form tiny crystals, hard for the body to absorb. In effect, raw kale could be stealing the very nutrition your eyes need. I've had patients who did everything right: no smoking, regular walks, plenty of water. Yet they came in with complaints of eye strain, blurred vision, and trouble with bright light. And when I asked about their diet, they proudly said, "I drink a kale smoothie every morning." They never imagined something so green, so clean could cause problems. But this isn't about fear, it's about balance. Kale is still valuable when cooked gently. Steaming or sautéing breaks down the oxalates, making its nutrients easier to absorb. If kale can interfere with your vision, what about other household favorites? Let's talk about one of America's most nostalgic guilty pleasures: pickled vegetables. 3. Pickled vegetables. Tasty but treacherous. There's something nostalgic about pickled foods. The crunch of a dill pickle with your sandwich, the tang of sauerkraut on a brat, or the bite of pickled beets in a salad. They taste bold, bright, alles. But beneath that sharp flavor lies a harder truth. These foods may be quietly damaging your vision, one bite at a time. Pickled vegetables are loaded with sodium, not just a pinch. A single serving can contain hundreds of milligrams, more than aging eyes and delicate capillaries can safely handle. That much salt doesn't just raise blood pressure, it strains the tiny blood vessels in the retina, potentially causing microbleeds, blurred vision, and hypertensive retinopathy. Worse still, many commercial pickles are full of preservatives and dyes, linked to inflammation and oxidative stress. They don't just affect the eyes, they impact your circulation, even your brain. That pickle you eat daily for a little flavor might actually be dulling your focus and your sight. I've had seniors tell me, "I only eat a few pickles a day, that can't be bad, right?" But when vision fades and memory skips like an old record, those small habits often become the regret. And if pickles can do that, what happens when something as trusted as garlic starts turning against your eyes? 4. Garlic. In high doses, powerful but risky. Garlic has long been praised, not just as a flavorful ingredient, but as a natural remedy, a heart protector, a cholesterol fighter, a blood cleanser. And yes, garlic does have incredible benefits, but too much of a good thing can quietly become harmful, especially for older adults. When eaten in large amounts, especially raw or in concentrated supplements, garlic acts as a natural blood thinner. That may sound helpful for stroke prevention, but here's what most don't realize. Thinning the blood can lead to tiny internal bleeds in fragile areas, like the eyes. The retina is lined with capillaries, thinner than a hair, and as we age, those vessels grow more delicate. Add garlic plus aspirin or warfarin, and the risk of hemorrhage, floaters, or blurred vision rises fast. Some patients said it felt like seeing through smoke, or noticing flashes of light. They didn't know the garlic they trusted could be behind their sight disruptions. Balance is key. A clove in your sauce? Perfect. But a garlic smoothie every morning, with supplements on top? That's where healing turns harmful. Your eyes don't need overcorrection, they need nourishment. So the next time you reach for that capsule, ask yourself, am I helping my body or quietly straining it? Because if garlic can do this, just imagine what the sweetness of canned corn might be hiding. 5. Canned corn, convenient, but stripping your vision. For many seniors, canned corn feels familiar, easy, and safe. But behind that sweet golden comfort lies a quiet truth. Canned corn may be slowly stealing the clarity from your eyes without you ever realizing it. Unlike fresh or frozen corn, which retains most of its natural nutrition, canned corn is heavily processed. And during that processing, two powerful antioxidants are lost: lutein and zeaxanthin. These nutrients play a critical role in protecting the retina, filtering harmful blue light, and preventing age-related macular degeneration, a leading cause of vision loss in older adults. But when you rely on canned corn as a regular side dish, thinking it's harmless, you're essentially feeding your body calories without the nutrients your eyes so desperately need. Worse still, most canned corn is packed with excess sodium and sugar, often hidden under friendly labels like seasoned or sweet kernel. Over time, high sodium can raise intraocular pressure, straining your optic nerve. And added sugar, it contributes to inflammation, silently eroding not just your eyesight, but your entire vascular system. I've heard patients say, "It's just corn, what harm can it do?" But small habits, repeated daily, shape the health we carry into our later years. And often, it's the foods that seem most innocent that do the most lasting damage. So before you open that next can, pause. Consider choosing fresh or frozen instead. That small shift could help preserve your ability to read, drive, and recognize the faces you love. Because now that we've talked about what not to eat, it's time to ask, what vegetables should you be eating to sharpen your vision, protect your brain, and support your heart all at once? The answers may already be waiting in your kitchen drawer. 6. The vegetables that heal and protect your eyes. After learning which foods might be taking your vision, you're probably wondering, what should I eat instead? What foods actually nourish my eyes, sharpen my mind, and support my heart? Here's the good news. You don't need exotic ingredients or expensive supplements. The answers are simple. They're in your grocery store, maybe even in your garden. Let's start with the classic: carrots, the age-old champion of eye health. They're rich in beta-carotene, which your body converts into vitamin A, a nutrient essential for retina health and night vision. Next up, the overlooked powerhouse, red bell peppers. They're loaded with vitamin C and antioxidants, which reduce inflammation and help strengthen the blood vessels in your eyes. Then there's kale, but gently cooked. When steamed or sautéed, kale becomes a rich source of lutein and zeaxanthin, nutrients that act like natural sunglasses for your retina. They shield your eyes from blue light and help lower the risk of macular degeneration. And don't forget the humble ripe tomato. Packed with lycopene, this antioxidant fights oxidative stress, not just in your eyes, but throughout your cardiovascular system, helping your heart, your brain, and your vision stay younger, longer. These aren't fads, they are nature's gifts, proven by science, ready to be part of your everyday meals. But the key is not just eating vegetables. It's eating the right ones, prepared in the right way, with care, consistency, and intention. Even the healthiest vegetables can lose their power if cooked improperly or eaten at the wrong time. What you do after your meal might matter just as much as what's on your plate, and that's what we'll explore next, because changing your sight starts at the table. The final message. Growing older doesn't mean surrendering your vision. It means becoming wiser, more intentional with every bite, every habit, every choice. The vegetables we've discussed today, they're not evil by nature. In fact, many are incredibly nutritious when prepared and eaten the right way. But when we rely on processed versions or repeat harmful cooking habits, we slowly chip away at the health of our eyes, our minds, and our hearts. Your eyesight isn't just about reading or driving, it's about seeing your grandchild smile, watching the seasons change, recognizing the faces you love. That clarity is worth protecting. It's never too late to shift course, to trade a dangerous dish for a healing one. So start today. Consider what you eat, how you cook it, and how those choices support your body. Because every small shift matters. Good vision isn't just a gift of youth, it's a reward of wisdom. If this message touched you, share it. Help another senior protect their vision before it's too late. Because when we protect our eyes, we don't just see the world, we stay connected to it. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned today that you plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey. If you enjoyed this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback means everything, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your terms.